Welcome to another video on data to decisions. In the previous video, we built the stock price chart, a line chart, which shows the history of the stock closing prices dynamically. And we also built a little interactive slicer to change this to daily, weekly, or monthly history. In this video, we're going to be building this minimum and maximum points. So for any stock symbol, for any period of time that we're looking at, what is the minimum stock price value? When did it happen? What was the price? And then same way for the maximum, when did it happen? And what was the price. So that's what we're going to be building in this video. So let's get started. So this is where we left off in the previous video. So I'm going to continue here by typing in another a column where we will be building the minimum price first. So I'm going to call it just MIN for minimum. And the formula that I'm going to do is if R underscore price. So if you remember from the previous video, we saw how we created a dynamic array of price values and then gave a specific name for it called R price. R price is nothing but the values in column L. So if R price equals minimum of R price, comma, then give me R price. If not, then give me NA, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, and again close. That's it. So let's type it in. It automatically fills everything. And you saw that it detected that the minimum is $207.39. And then all the other values will be NA. So what if I change the date here? So if I go 1/1/2024, January 1st, you see now that 3rd January is the lowest price. So you can clearly see that it's working. For whatever date range, it'll automatically pick it up. Now, I'm going to do a similar one for max. And this one, basically, it's the same formula. If our price equals maximum of our price, then our price, otherwise NA. And there we go. And where is the maximum price? Over here on the 28th of Feb. So it's working. So now we have it. So now let's understand how we can name these values or ranges and then before introducing into the chart. Let's go back into the formulas, name manager. So you can see how we define the price. Our price is nothing but index of what is in K3, which is where we pull the stock history, comma 2 for the second column, which is the closing price. Again, please watch the previous video where we go into depth into that. In this video, we focus on the minimum and the maximum. So what I'm going to do is to create a new named range, and I'm going to call it R underscore min for range of minimum series. And here I'm going to select this cell N3. So click on cell N3, which is where we have a formula, but the formula is a dynamic array. So we need to put a hash at the end. So I'm going to put a hash at the end and then press OK. Same way, do new R underscore max. And again, you can name this how you would like. The name actually doesn't, impact anything. I'm just calling it R underscore as a prefix because it's a range. Again, you're free to do what you feel comfortable. I'm going to select the maximum value where we wrote the formula. Remember that these formulas are single formula cells. We write the formula in only one cell. So we want to refer to that cell. In my case, it's O3. And make sure that you do a hash at the end. If we don't do the hash, it doesn't really bring all the values together. So press OK. So now we have defined these two ranges. Now press close. It's time for us to add those to the chart. Right click on the chart, select data, add, and I can call it minimum, MIN. And then I am going to click on any cell, doesn't matter where it is, and then remove everything after the exclamation mark. Type in R underscore min, which is the name that we gave, right? If you had given a different name, please remember to use that name. I used R underscore min, so I use it. And then for the x-axis, same thing, click anywhere, it doesn't matter, but the sheet name should be there, exclamation mark, and then we named R underscore dates for the x-axis, so I'm going to use that. Great. Now we will add the maximum, max, and select anywhere, just r underscore max. For the x-axis, it's going to be r underscore dates. Awesome. So everything is good. Now, nothing has happened. So now we need to go back and change, right click and change chart type and see what kind of chart type has been assigned to the minimum and the maximum. It looks like everything is assigned as a line. So let's go to combo. Let's say the closing price is a line chart. So closing price is a line chart. The minimum, let's do it as a line with markers. Okay. So closing price is line, minimum and maximum line with markers, and press OK. And you already start seeing the markers there. Now, as the chart is being clicked, go to minimum series. And we don't really need a line, so I'm just going to make it a no line. But we do want the marker. So I'm going to go into the marker options, built in, and I'm going to choose the circle. And you're welcome to choose others if you prefer. But I'm going to increase the size a little bit so that it's a little bit more visible. And since this is the minimum, I can leave it as an orange or red or so. Choose the color you would like. And then in the fill, this is where you would change the colors. And then I'm not going to do a border. That's okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the maximum series and built-in marker. I'm going to increase the size, solid fill. This time I will do a little bit of a green, no border there. Go back to the line, no line. And let's make sure I use the same size. So 7 is for the maximum series, and for the minimum is 7 as well. Okay, so they're the same size. Now, the points are there. How do I add a label to it? So go back again, choose the minimum series. Um, did I choose the minimum or the max? Okay, I chose the maximum. That's fine. Max series plus data labels. And then once you have the data label added, you can go to more options. And because it's a maximum point, what I'm going to do is to keep it above the label position. And then I also want to bring in the category name, which is nothing but the date for us. And I want the date and the price to be in two different lines. So I'm going to choose new line. So now you'll see that it appears like this, where there is a date as well as the price for the maximum point. We're going to do exactly the same for the minimum. For the minimum, let's keep selecting minimum. Okay. And then add data label. And then go to data label options. So you can go this way, or you can go back to the drop down here if that's easier for you. Go here to the drop down, and now you will see that there is a min data labels. So go there and then go to this options. And I'm going to use the category name, which is the date. And I will choose new line. And instead of above, I'm going to do below. Again, this is my preference. So minimum, so it'll be below, max will be above. There we go. So we have a chart where the minimum and the maximum points will automatically show up, and the date and the price will appear. So let's test it. I'm going to choose another date, 1/1/2023, January 1st, 2023. The data is changing, and now you have a different minimum and the maximum points. Now let's do weekly. What if I make this as a weekly chart instead of a daily? It's fine because it's still going to go and find the minimum point for that week, the data. So this one right now, March 6th, 2023, this is the minimum from a weekly data perspective, the minimum point and then the maximum point. So can I do monthly? So click on monthly, and now it should go and update the monthly history. And we only have 12 months in 2023 and 3 months in 2024. And so 15 points. And out of these 15, February 2023 is the lowest and February 2024 is the highest. So it is working. One last check. Let's say if we want to change the symbol instead of Visa, I want to check for Microsoft. Hopefully I remember that. Yeah, okay. So we have the 15 points again, but now for Microsoft, the lowest point is January, and then the next point is again February for Microsoft. So feel free to try other symbols and let me know if you have any questions. But in this video, we made the minimum and the maximum points on our stock price history chart. In the next video, what we're going to do is to introduce another slicer where instead of you typing in the start date every time. You can use a slicer to make it go back and pull 1 year's worth of data, 6 months worth of data. You don't need to remember the dates. It'll automatically go and pull those dates if you press the button. So we'll continue in the next video. Please continue to watch the series.